All right, check out some high-end antiques and quality items from the Old West.
Old West. Cody's Caravan is live in Grass Valley on the lookout for rare treasures. Hi, Cody.
Oh, have we found some treasures. We're going to start this morning with Chris Enns. Chris is honestly, you're my favorite author. Every time you send me a book, every time we talk about your books, I am always amazed by how great of a researcher you are.
Wonderful. Well, you know, it's really easy when you love the American frontier and all those great stories about the Wild West.
Okay, you've got a new book out.
I do.
This one is fascinating. Absolutely. Oh, they're all fascinating, but this one's really fascinating because I feel like this is a history that just kind of got lost.
Well, it's about the first female physicians on the frontier, these women who weren't able to practice medicine in the East because they were deemed unfeminine if they did such a thing. So they came west thinking that they could have their own practice, and it really didn't work out like that in the very beginning because unless they could cure a cow or a horse or a chicken, they weren't going to be trusted with any family members. So these women really had to fight for their career.
They had to fight for their career. Okay, in this book, with all these fantastic stories, there is one story that made me go, ugh. Tell us that story, Chris.
It's the story of Dr. Sophie Herzog. Dr. Sophie Herzog revolutionized the way that gunshot wound victims are treated. Ordinarily, if you were shot in the Old West, if the bullet didn't kill you outright, the doctor probing in to pull the bullet out would. But Dr. Sophie would take her patients and she would tie a rope around their legs, a rope around their upper torso, hoist them up on a pole above the bed, flip them upside down, and let gravity take effect. Eventually, that bullet would work its way to the surface of the skin and she would pull it right out. She was so successful, she had a necklace made of all of the bullets that she had removed.
Oh, did she really?
She did.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic story. I don't know where you find these. They're so good. Tell us about the train doctor. The train doctor you were telling me about.
Well, that's Dr. Sophie Herzog, too.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
not only did she revolutionize the way that you treat gunshot wound victims, but she goes on to become one of the very first railroad surgeons on the line, going up and down the line, helping men who were surveying the land or laying track and got hurt. She would get on one of those hand cars and pedal it all the way up to their clients. And she was just really good. People loved her.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And her waiting room consisted of all these taxidermy items and a museum. And so when you came to wait to get in to see Dr. Sophie, you were entertained.
It was like a little museum, a little show. You got a little show.
Right.
Chris, how long will you be out? You be out all weekend here?
I am here all day today, all day tomorrow. And then, you know, if they like me, I'll just stay over, even though it's closed. You know, I'll still be here.
I'm telling you. Okay, so blow their minds real quick. How many books have you written about the Old West?
It's 56, but you know, I'm 63. I've been doing this for a long time. So, you know, it's when you condense it down like that, it sounds impressive. It sounds like it's been a lot.
One of my favorite books is this one, The Death Row All-Stars, a story of baseball, corruption, and murder. I could not put that down. That story was crazy. So these guys were on death row.
They were on death row, and they were part of the baseball team, and as long as they played ball and won, they got stays of execution. In 1911. Yeah, it's a wonderful story. You know, I mean, it's not a happy story, but you know, I mean, it's a great little slice of what happened in the American frontier.
Yeah, yeah. Keep it going, Chris.
I will.
And happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you
birthday.
very much.
Oh, fantastic. Come out to the show, meet Chris, do some shopping, spend your kids' inheritances, because it's all here. We'll show you around some more coming up in just a second, but I'm telling you, Chris's books are amazing. If you're in the Old West, she finds these things. I don't know how she finds them, but she finds these stories. It's
so,
amazing.
Cody, I'm curious, does Chris have audiobooks? Because her voice is so soothing. And although she's talking about the wildest stories.
They want to know if you do audiobooks and read your books because your voice is lovely and we need you to talk it out.
Bless your heart. Yes, indeed, I do. I don't do the voiceover, but I wrote a book called The Doctor Wore Petticoats. It was the first book to make it to the New York Times bestseller list, and that's on audiobook. Wicked Women. Because who doesn't need a wicked woman?
Okay.
That's an audiobook as well, and that's just about the women who were soiled doves and the gamblers and just all kinds of bad in the West.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, back to you guys.
All right, Cody.
Thank you, Code. Appreciate it. Let's get a look at the roads this morning. Good morning.